What's good, people? This is your boy John Beal, just coming in to just talk to you guys for a minute. Um, yeah, sitting here in my studio, and was on Facebook, and a really good friend of mine made a post that just kind of made me think about stuff, and he was like, the question he asked. This is and this is Myron Carroll that asked this question. He said the question he asked was, "What would happen if churches changed their times to accommodate musicians?" And that's an interesting question, Myron. Um, I don't think that churches would ever do that because I think the ego of certain pastors and the ego of certain institutions, I would say, wouldn't allow themselves to be dictated, the times by musicians. Um, at the same time, I think some musicians need a reality check as to um, how much juice they have in making those decisions. And then someone asked another question that brought up a whole different reality or a different perspective was, do we even really need music for a church service? Are musicians even necessary? Now, the reality is, I believe absolutely musicians are needed for church services, and it's not just a self-serving thing. I mean, if you claim to be Christian or based in the Judeo-Christian tradition, Psalm 150 is justification enough for the relevance of having musicians, and uh, I just can't even imagine going to a Christian church without music, without good music. I mean, actually, I have imagined it. I've actually been to Christian churches that didn't have good music, and it kind of sucked. Now, I have also been to, so I'm Catholic. I've also been to a Catholic church where there's no music at a particular mass, and I found it quite enjoyable. Now, is that a mass that I want to participate in all the time? No. But some settings don't require music. It could actually be very, very cool to just go and be one with, your thoughts and meditations and really listen to the voice of God in a sacred space. I can kind of dig that. But sometimes, man, you need to have some a praise and worship experience with the music. And yeah, if that's gonna happen, the music needs to be good. I can't tell you how many times I've been to a church where the music was bad and I couldn't wait for the service to be over with because the music was bad. At the same time, I've also been to services where the music was really good, but the music was self-serving and didn't put me in a spiritual mindset. I was just, it was, it put me in a setting for where I was more interested in the music than the message. And I think that's where we go wrong a lot of times when we're working in that worship space. As musicians, we need to figure out how to make sure that the music that we're doing complements the message. You know, how often do we sit down with our pastors, with our homilist, our priest, our bishops, and say, "Hey, what's your message for today? What can we do to make sure that the people receive your message and that the music that we're doing complements the particular message of Christ that you're trying to deliver? How can we accentuate this liturgical moment through the music that we are creating? You know. And then as I was continuing to read through this post that Myron posted, and I was looking through the comment section was a trip. There were a lot of people that said, hey man, good music, bad music. The people, the congregation, the folks that are listening, they can't tell the difference. They don't really know the difference. They just, they'll just find, we can get volunteer musicians to just kind of fill in until you guys get ready to get your act together. You paid musicians. It's like, wow, really? It's like, what do you have against paid musicians? Musicians that are, that took the time to learn their craft and, hone their craft. They should be compensated for all of that time and effort and money that they spent to get it together. Now, I think it's really arrogant for you to say that the whoever you are, to say that the average listener doesn't know the difference. I'm just gonna call BS on that. If that's the case, then if people didn't know the difference, why do some, people, you go to some concerts and certain bands get the people moving and other bands, the people are not? There's so much at stake. There could be, the sound system, how well the presentation, the light show, the audio engineer plays a key role into making sure that the artist's message and intent of the music gets out to the people so they can feel the vibrations, the energy, all of that. But the music first has to be good, and the band has to be good. The musicianship has to be good in order to portray that. And I promise you, I've seen time and time again, where even on the club, let's go outside of the church for a second. Even in club situations, I've seen where folks have tried to replace a great band with a cheaper, low-cost budget band, thinking, okay, well, we got the people in here now, so we can just put anybody in there to fill the space. And then they realize 3 months later that club is closed, or that venue shut down, or they have to call the original band back because, the lower cost sucky band just did that. It sucked the life out of the place. I've seen that time and time again. Folks are arrogant and think that it doesn't matter. Now, the arrogance goes both ways. Arrogant musicians think they can't be replaced. But at the same time, there's always somebody gunning for your position. Somebody wants somebody's going to want it more than you. Just saying. So that's my 2 cents for today. I hope you guys, will tune in and, hit subscribe, hit the like button. If you're looking at it on my new YouTube channel, my new YouTube channel is John Beal Music. You can find me on John Beal Music. And I guess I'm going to start doing TikToks and all that other stuff too. But check me out. And then you can go to johnbealmusic.com to find out the latest, greatest things that I'm working on. Also, you can check out my other site, Orange Room Radio. OrangeRoomRadio.com is back up and running. The radio station is popping. So listen, I'll see you guys on the flip side. We'll hopefully see you sometime tomorrow. Holla.